And you were talking about Phillip?
Yes, I was. You know, he was my favorite brother. I was 9 when he was born, and he was the cutest thing. We would take him to the beach, and he would wear this little bitty bathing suit, and he was just so precious, and he would grin all the time. And I would carry him on my hip, and we would go places, and I would ride him on my bike, and we would go places, and he was my best bud. And it finally got so that Mother would have to take him to the back of the house for me to leave if I wanted to go by myself somewhere.
He was so attached.
He was so attached, and I was so attached to him, and I usually just rather take him with me rather than have him cry. And as we were growing up, you know, I grew up, and he grew up, and he went to high school, and I went to work, but we always had time to talk, and he would always talk to me about different things. Mother, you know, was quite a bit older, and Daddy was quite a bit older. And I was jealous of him one time, and that's because Daddy bought him another car after he flipped his Beetle.
Oh.
He had a Volkswagen Beetle, and he was hot rodding it. And he flipped it 2 or 3 times and just totaled it,
and he lived to talk about it.
And he lived to talk about it, and Daddy went right out and bought him another car after that, and he never bought me a car. So that was about the only time I can remember ever being jealous.
How old was he?
Well, he probably wasn't but 16. I mean, you know, he had just gotten his driver's license, and he and Joe Schuessler, his best friend, they were out trying things around, you know, and
trouble,
and got in trouble. But anyway, he didn't get hurt. That was the miracle.
Well, that's good.
But then after I got married, Clinton and I got married, we moved to Knoxville, Tennessee. And I didn't really realize, you know, how much of a void that would leave for Phillip and Mother.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, one day I came home from the grocery store, and he was sitting in the driveway. I didn't know who it was, you know, but there was a Volkswagen Beetle bus sitting in my driveway. And it was Phillip and Joe Schuessler and another couple with a little boy who was probably maybe 2. I mean, he was still in diapers.
And you had no idea they were coming?
No, I did not. But I was so thankful that I had gone to the grocery store because they were starving. And they were very nice because when they helped me get the groceries in. And I remember I had bought a bag of potatoes, and I had bought bread and bologna and cheese and, you know, just groceries, you know, stuff. I think we were going to the lake that weekend. We had a boat, so we were going to the lake, and I was getting all stuff ready. And I just happened to say, well, have y'all eaten? Are y'all hungry? And they said, well, yeah, they were, you know, they could have a set. They ate everything I had bought. They were starving. I don't know when they had eaten last. I really don't. But anyway.
Surprise.
Yeah, surprise. And for supper, I think we had hamburgers, and I fixed a whole 5-pound bag of potatoes.
Oh my gosh.
And you know, it didn't hardly go around.
Really? They were that hungry?
Yes. They were starved.
Well, I know that they were poor at that time, and probably you were the closest.
Well, they didn't have any money. They had no money. I don't even know. I think they got to our house on fumes. But
that's why he didn't call to tell you. He would have had to spend a dime at the phone booth.
Exactly. And you know, I mean, he had on bell-bottom pants. That, you know, was that era.
Yeah.
They were all, and they took showers, and you know, just.
How long did they stay with you?
Well, they stayed about 2 weeks.
Oh boy. At your house?
At our house.
Did you go to the lake?
Yes, we did. And we took them out in the boat, and they went water skiing, and we just, they had a good time, and Clinton was so good to them. I mean, he
yeah.
just was so good to them. And Donna, she sat around with her mouth open half the time. But Phillip would tease Donna, and he called her Snake. And that would get her going. I mean, to tell you, she would be in a frenzy.
Donna, did that get you going?
Yes, it did. You remember it? Yes, I do.
How old were you?
She was probably about,
3, 4, and 5, wasn't she 5?
well, let's see, 5, 6. She was about 6. 6 or 7, between 6 and 7.
He picked at her.
Oh, he picked at her something awful. Oh, it would make me so mad.
He'd have that grin on his face, you know, like he had.
Yes, he would grin and she'd come hollering at me and I'd holler at him.
And it didn't do a bit of good.
No, it didn't. But anyway, I told him, I said, now you call Mother and let her know you're safe, and he did. And
Well, that's a...
I didn't find out until we were talking about it the other day. Clinton and I were talking about it, but he said, well, I gave Phillip enough money to get home on.
Oh, did he?
And I said, well, I gave him enough money to get home on. We didn't get together on that.
Well, he was quite the diplomat.
He's sneaky, an opportunist.
Well, thanks for sharing that story.
Well, you're welcome. I loved him very much.
And he loved you also.
We had